up, troops? Welcome back to the Litanah Army. I'm Lit, and this is Fortnite Save the World. And what I'm going to look at today is some new player tips. So I'm going to make this a bit of a guide for new players, because I see in the Discord all the time loads of people saying I'm still in Stonewood. I've just got the game. I've got two friends who've recently got the game, and I don't think they play it much. And I think the main reason is, Fortnite is very, menu heavy. And when you first log into the game and you're presented with all these little boxes and things like that, it's very overwhelming to know what to do. So hopefully this guide will help you be able to just jump into the game, at least for the first two areas, and be able to get through the game quite nicely without having to panic, if you're missing something, because it's not a nice feeling, when you're playing a game and you think, maybe I'm missing something, maybe I'm not getting something right, it's not a nice feeling at all, and a lot of RPGs do that, and Fortnite's a little bit guilty of maybe not making the tutorial as strong as what it could be. It kind of shows you something once, but then there's a lot more layers to this. It's a bit like Fortnite's like a great big onion, to quote Marvin Gaye there. So guys, let's jump in and see if we can help you guys, or especially you new players, enjoy the game a little bit more. Stay tuned. Okay, the first thing you've got is the quest line. So what you want to be doing first of all, you'll start off in an area called Stonewood, which is it the green one? It's over here, look, the green one here. So you'll start over here in Stonewood in this area. And it's a great area, it's really good for like learning the missions. You can look there, there's just a nice handful, a good mixture of missions there. But what you want to do, don't just jump into any of these. Don't just start picking, random ones and then hit and play and things like that. I wouldn't even advise right away, unless they're really helpful, even playing with friends right away, because they can boost you up to their level, but you're gonna run into issues later on. What you want to do is start over on this tab at the top here on the far left and hit the play tab, and what you'll do, I'm in Canny Valley at the minute, so mine's slightly different, but what you'll do, you'll actually have circles here and a line going across, and it'll just work you through the missions, and it's a great way to get some excellent rewards that you'll get all the way through and learn the game at the same time. Now I would probably do that at least all the way through Stonewood, and then all the way through Plankerton as well, so that should be your main focus. Do you know what, to keep the game fun, log in maybe, once a day, every other day, and just do a little bit of it, just work your way through it nicely. If you're a hardcore player, blast through it as quick as what you can, but take note of what you're actually doing and take note of what other people are doing as well. So number two then, what I wanted to say is as well, chat in game. So make friends in game. So when you're actually in a game, you actually have the chat down in the bottom left hand corner. Now this will come into party chat when you actually enter a mission, and it's definitely valuable if you start making friends in there. This will help you with things like trades later on if that's what you want to do. I'm going to advise you not to trade later on, but still, if that's something you want to do, or you want to learn the game a little bit more, gather a group of friends, and if you see someone who's, chats back to you, some games you're going to jump into and the people aren't going to chat back to you, but if they do talk back to you, and they're quite friendly, and they might be something you can help them with, something they can help you with, just make sure you add them as a friend and kind of build up your friends list that way. If if that's not working out for you, we've got a Discord that you can, I'll link in every single video, it's down below. Come and join the Discord if you want to talk about the game in there, and we'll be more than happy to help you out in there. Just go into the Save the World chat room that we've got and ask any question you like, and again, it doesn't matter how new you are, it might just be something like, how do I remove the UI, it might be something like, where do I gather nuts and bolts from, anything like that. It's totally down to you, but you're more than welcome to come in and join there. But definitely guys, making friends in a game like this, it's a social game, it's a team game, it's a co-op game, so it's absolutely valuable that you do that. Now if you go over here to Armory, what you'll have down here is your collection book. Now you'll see people putting things in that all of the time. Now I would say at the start, don't put anything in the collection book that you want to keep. Now at first, if you're not sure if you want to keep it or not, don't do anything with it, just keep it as it is, and then what you actually want to be doing after that is maybe asking somebody again, either ask in game, go on to Reddit. Reddit is a great resource, and the subreddit, is relatively friendly compared to a lot of subreddits that are out there. The Fortnite Reddit is actually really friendly. I've got that link down below as well, so go and check the guys out in there, and there's some great people in there like White Sushi, who's done a spreadsheet with a load of stats on it. There's Rusty Breaker, who does some great guides, and highlights some great news, and of course you've got the YouTubers who you can go to. So if you want to search something, like, is this weapon any good, then just search the weapon, put is it any good, and you'll probably get one of our videos come up, and it'll help you decide whether you want to keep that weapon or not. If you're not sure of it still, then just hold on to it until you are early on in the game, especially through Stonewood and Plankerton. You shouldn't really be running out of bag space that early on, so you should be absolutely fine. Now, another section that's quite important, if you look at this section up here, it says squads, and we're going to go over here to survivor squads. Now, if you're looking there, these are what actually level you up, so they affect this score, your power level up here, more than what your actual heroes do. I see a lot of people, you know, in game saying, oh, I main Urban Assault Headhunter, or my main's an Outlander, and things like that, when really that's not actually the case. What actually is the case is the base as a whole and your skills as a whole. So if we go over to Armory again over here, sorry, not Armory, if we go over to squads in a second, over here, you can see you've got these fort stats. Now, fort stands for fortitude, offense, resistance, and tech. Now, I've done a guide on Survivor Squad, so I'm not going to go into too much detail on this. You know, I'll put that in the annotation. So if you look in the top right, there's a little white letter I. If you just click on that, that's the video to Survivor Squads. But these are what actually level you up in here. So survivors are massively valuable, and what you want to be doing is unlocking these and getting as many legendaries and mythics in here as you possibly can. So don't overlook survivors. These should also, you know, these should really, as you unlock them, these should be a priority to fill and to level them up as well. Now, just next to there in the same tab, so if you look at squads on the top and you go to defenders, I don't really do a great deal with these. I've leveled some up just because I was doing videos early on where I was doing base defenses with just me and a defender or whatever it is. But if you're not a YouTuber and you're not doing it for entertainment, these aren't really worth leveling up. I probably wouldn't bother with these just yet. They're just not worth the hero XP. You can put your XP into heroes instead. So if you look onto these, if I go to level this guy up here, and let's go on to him there, upgrade and inspect, and I level him up, he's going to take up my hero XP, and it's just, like I said, ultimately, for how often you're going to use them, these guys aren't worth it. So don't worry too much about defenders. I just can't think of a time where you would use them, and they certainly don't warrant the hero XP. What you want to be spending on the cool stuff, which is your heroes. Okay then, so if we go over to the Armory tab as well and we go over to schematics, one thing I would say, you can build all your own weapons. So don't worry too much about what weapons you've got and what weapons you haven't got. What you want to actually be looking at is leveling up some weapons that you like. You know, I've done a guide again recently that tells you about what weapons are good and not, and there's a load of other YouTubers out there. Check has just done a great guide on the Tiger Jaw, you know, which I've just started to level up over here. I've not finished it off yet. But, you know, there's lots of guides on there on which weapons to get. But I would say find a weapon that suits you. You know, just try as many of them as you like out. There's no weapon in Save the World, I don't think, that's not viable. So, do you know what? If you enjoy using the Bald Eagle instead of using the Viper, or you enjoy using the Hydra instead of the Gravedigger, then go for that. Do you know, these weapons that you see people trading, and you'll probably see some down in the bottom left, even in this video at some point, you know, people asking to trade, you don't need to do that. Don't get obsessed by the weapons, you know, get more obsessed by things like we talked about earlier, you know, by your survivor squads, and also by which heroes you've got leveled up, and what synergies kind of work between those as well. That's more important than any weapon that you're going to be carrying. Now, going back to the map then as well, so this is number 7. So going back to the map, you want to stick to your heroes to the levels per area. So your weapons and your heroes, when you're leveling them up, you want to kind of base it on the area that you're in. So let me just show you what I mean by that. So if we've got a hero here, look, so I've got the Urban Assault Headhunter here. So I've got her up to level 30. The reason being, I'm in Canny Valley. Now, I can get her between 30. I can go up to 40 if I like, but between 30 and 40 for Canny Valley is about right. And then also, if you go to the weapons, if you go to the armory, the same again. So if you look at the Dragon's Roar that I've got that up to level 30 there as well. Now, the main reason being is because Canny Valley, that's about the area, the level that I want to be at. So I don't know if you guys have got a pen and paper, you want to write this down. But if you're in Stonewood, then what you want to be looking at is about level 10 for your heroes and for your weapons. Then we move over to Plankerton, then you want to be looking at level 20, again, for your weapons and for your heroes. And then if we go up to Canny Valley, then you want to be looking at between 30 and 40. And then when you get to Twine, then you're looking at 40. So, but for the first two areas, what we're looking at today, level 10 everything if you're in Stonewood, level 20 if you're in Plankerton. Now, the only reason not to go above them, I know you might think, well, I want to be better than that, I want to be OP in my area. The only problem is, if you level your heroes up past that, it's not the end of the world, you know, that's not too bad. It's a bit of a waste of XP, because you could use it to get a different hero up to level 10, you know, so there's that. But the most important one is the weapons, because you're going to start needing materials. When you level a weapon up, the material costs change, and the actual materials needed to craft that weapon will absolutely change. So the problem, what you're going to have is you're going to need malachite to craft these things, and you're not going to be able to get it. So if you look in the armory over here then, so if you look at the Dragon's Roar we were just talking about, I need 11 malachite. Now that's quite common in Canny Valley where I am, so that's right. So I'll level that up to level 30 and I can get loads of this. Now a good example here, look, I accidentally leveled the Obliterator up during a video for those of you that saw it, and I now need Shadow Shard. Now, Shadow Shard from where I am in Canny Valley is so hard to get hold of. Now, I think I have got enough to make one of these, but again, it was stupid leveling it up simply because, you know, I'm not going to be able to get them in abundance. So if I want to keep making obliterators for myself, luckily that's not one of my weapons of choice. It is a good weapon, but it's not my weapon of choice. But if it was, then I would have just shot myself in the foot there, because I wouldn't be able to make very many of them, because all of a sudden now I need Shadow Shard, which I can't get a hold of. So stick to the levels that we said. So level 10 for Stonewood, 20 for Plankerton, and you will not go far wrong with that. Okay then, so looking at heroes then, so no hero is so bad that they're not viable. Do you know, they're all viable, but I still wouldn't level your greens or your blues. Only try to level your purple items, do you know, or your orange, you know, your legendary items. So what you want to be doing is epic, legendary, do you know, and mythic. Just level those up early on. Now, if you've got a green hero, you can probably get them up to level 10. One thing that you can do, if you really, really like a hero and you've only got the epic version of them, what you can do then is, if you look at Demolitionist Penny here, and we go to Upgrader, you can go down here, Upgrade, in the bottom right-hand corner, and you can increase the rarity over there, look. And if I get these, so these requirements down here, so if I get 21,750 hero XP, 100 legendary flux, 15 pure drops of rain, training manuals, and lightning in a bottle, then I can upgrade her to the legendary version of that. It's quite a lot of materials, that, so you'd have to love the character to do that. That's not the most viable way to do it, but I would say I would only play in the early days, just play with like the epics, legendaries, and then if you get one in an event, then maybe a mythic as well. If you get really lucky in a llama, or you get one via an event, then you can play those as well. But there's no hero in this game that's not viable. These are the best heroes that you can get. Do you know, again, I've done a video on that recently. That's definitely worth a look at. So there's the heroes who are classed as, you know, top tier, but there's nobody. I don't go into a mission and think, oh my god, they've brought that person, or oh my god, they've got the wrong hero, I can't believe they've brought this constructor, because it really doesn't matter. They're all viable and they're all good in their own kind of way. Okay, so one more thing to look at as well. If we look at the heroes tab up at the top here, then what you've actually got 3 slots. There's 3 heroes. This can get quite confusing. Now, these guys over on the right, these are your defenders. We don't worry about them. We're not overly interested in them. Now, your primary is the main hero. That's the one you're going to be using in-game. Now, these 2 slots, you've got a support slot, and you've also got a tactical slot as well. Now, if we look at down here and down at the bottom, you can see that if I put this Sergeant Jonesy here, if I put him into the support slot, which is the first one, then I get this bonus here. So increases assault weapon critical damage by 36%. So he will actually boost my main hero that I've got here. So having Sergeant Jonesy in this slot here will actually increase my urban assault headhunters critical weapon hit damage by 36%. Now, because I run a Silent Spectre, which is a, you know, really good weapon that I'm using at the moment, and it's got a high crit chance, that is absolutely valuable for me. But you can change that. All the heroes have different ones. So if you look down here, if I use Carbide, for example, I would get Quick Clip, so I'd increase my reload speed by 30%. If I had the Master Grenadier, she increases my assault weapon damage by 24%. So it's totally down to you. Again, personal preference. If you look on White Sushi's spreadsheet, he's got a list of really good synergies in there. It's under the tier tab up at the top. But if you go up there, he's got a list of really great synergies that you can use in there. And then the same applies for the tactical slot. The only difference with the tactical slot is, there's 2 pictures on here, look. What they've actually got in there is the second picture that counts in the tactical slot. So if you click over here, so the tactical slot boost that I get is here, Cluster Bomb. So it releases 6 cluster explosions around the impact site that will each do 12.5% of the original damage. So what that means is now, again, the double Agent Evelyn that I've got slot into this tactical slot will actually boost Urban Assault Headhunter over here. So she's going to now have, so with this setup that we've got here, she's got all her normal skills as normal, but she's also on top of that got increased critical weapon damage by 36%, and then she's also got cluster bombs as well, what she's got from Double Agent Evelyn. Now, you'll not see these 2 in game when you're playing, but you do get the buffs from them, so it's definitely worth learning what heroes have got what. It's definitely worth it. And then the very, very last tip, so number 10 is, do you know, play through the events if they come up. They are worth it. They're not level specific. Do you know, so if you're a Twine player, someone who's got, do you know, level like 130, like Aiden Harris, for example, or like David Dean, for example, they've got level like 130 characters, or they're definitely way up there, or somewhere up near the top. They're going to have a similar experience to what you are. So all you do is click play there, and down here in the bottom left, you'll have this view event. And you can go through the event as well, just like I can in Canny Valley, just like, you know, David Dean and Aiden can. We can all go through these events and we can all get a ton of great rewards. Now, the Blockbuster event that's happened recently, the actual story wasn't that great. I think I made a video called, the ending sucks or something like that. I'm really honest on this channel, as you guys know. But what we've got in here, what you can get? Look at these. Look at the rewards. You got 2 mythics. You got 2 lots of. Do you know what? You got 3 legendaries because you got both of those, and you could get legendaries from the llamas. So it's definitely worth playing through the events. Now these events usually open up like slots at a time, so you might get the first 3 pages, then a couple of weeks later you get the next few pages, and so forth. So, when they come up, it's definitely worth playing through them, and they are a ton of fun. Either way, you're going to get some great rewards, whether the story's good or not, whether the quests are a bit boring or not. Sometimes they're really good. I did have the Fortnite event when the quests were absolutely fantastic. We were searching through like mansions and castles, and it were absolutely awesome. And then we get the blockbuster event where it's kind of, fetch 10 of this, fetch 5 of that. But no matter what the actual mission is, you actually want to play through these because the actual rewards make every single event really, really worth it. So guys, I hope that helps you with that. I'll just quickly summarize then on each one. So play through Stonewood or, on Plankerton first. Don't worry about everything else that's going off around you. Make sure that you chat in game and make lots of friends. Feel free to join our Discord if you want to do that. Don't put anything in the collection book that that you potentially might want or you might want to keep. Or don't put it in there without researching it. It's not so much a problem now because you can go back and get things out of there, but you don't want to be learning all that yet. Just trying to hold on to as much stuff as what you can to start off with. Survivor squads level you up, not your heroes. Remember the fort thing that we looked at, and I've linked the video down there as well. Don't bother with defenders because they're not worth it, so kind of leave your defenders. I'm in Carnivale and I still don't really level my defenders up now, so don't worry too much about defenders. Number 6 is don't get obsessed by weapons and trading. It's not important. Throughout the game you'll be able to build your own weapons up and be able to do your own thing that way. Number 7 then, stick to hero levels per area. So remember we said if you're in Stonewood, then you want to keep everything you can at level 10, and if you're in Plankerton, level 20, Carnivale 30, and so forth. Number 8, no hero is so bad that they're not viable, but try not to level your greens and your blues up. Try and keep to your epics and try and keep them up. If you've got no other heroes to start with, then, level maybe 1 hero up until you do, and then you can always recycle them, get a bit of the hero XP back, and then, go with the characters that you've actually got. Number 9 is don't forget to put people in your support and tactical slots when going into missions. And then number 10, play through the event to get cool rewards. So guys, that's all that we've got time for. I hope this has been helpful. If it has, let me know in the comments down below. And if you're not part of the Litanah army already, make sure that you hit that red subscribe button on your way out, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Take care, guys.